it's finally starting to work its way in. And so it should keep us a little bit quieter as we go through the rest of this afternoon. We've still got a lot of humidity, so if any shower, if any thunderstorm does develop, it's going to be extremely productive in producing some of that heavier rainfall. But activity in terms of coverage should be a lot more isolated today. And the same can be said for tomorrow as well. There's really not a huge difference between today's weather versus tomorrow's, but that does start to change very quickly once we get into Thursday as a stronger cold front rolls through and it ushers away all of the heat and all the humidity that we've been dealing with for the last couple of days. As we mentioned, heat advisories are in effect for everyone until 8 o'clock. Heat index values could peak around that triple-digit point as high as about 102 before the day is done. And the more sunshine you see today, the more you're likely going to be dealing with a little bit more of that heat. Live look from our Stark State College camera there in Akron. You'll notice a little bit of cloud cover down towards the south. Temperatures at 81 degrees, but that 70-degree dew point makes it feel more so like we're into the mid-80s, and that only becomes a little bit more noticeable the closer you get up to the lake shore. We're a little cooler farther to the south. A lot of this has to do with some of the cloud cover that we still have, basically blanketing the area, and it's possible we get a little bit more clouds trying to drift in here over the next few hours, but I do expect a relatively quiet forecast as we begin the early part of this afternoon. Again, we'll watch a couple stray showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm will be possible. I'll walk you through your future view, talk about those upcoming rain chances for Thursday in just a few minutes. All right, as we kind of look ahead towards the middle part of this work week, yes, we still have a lot of heat and humidity to get through, but there is some relief on the way. And that's what we all have to kind of enjoy as we get closer and closer to the middle part of the work week. As we kind of get through kind of this heat, this humidity that's been building in over the last couple of days, yes, we have heat advisories that are in effect, but I'll be completely honest, it's going to feel a lot like how it did yesterday. We're going to have those temperatures warming back up mid to upper 80s to about low 90s. And when you factor in that humidity, it's going to make that temperature feel more so like we're into the upper 90s. And maybe a few folks get to that triple digit point as we kind of get through the really heat of the afternoon. You'll notice these go until 8 o'clock this evening. After that point, temperatures start to come down. So does that heat index. So again, with a little bit more sunshine in the mix, we may have 1 or 2 spots that hit 90 degrees, but most of us should stay a couple of degrees cooler than where we were yesterday. Upper 80s, though, I think looks very likely. As I mentioned, relief is coming, and it's going to be in the form of less humidity and some cooler temperatures as well. But this is really where you feel that difference. And you'll notice it's not just a day, it's not just 2 days that we're going to be in the comfy zone of that muggy meter. We're going to stay there as we look ahead towards the early part of this next week before things finally start to revert towards a more seasonable outlook for us. Now, with the heat and humidity that's in place today, it's possible we get a couple stray showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm that mixes in. This is not going to look like yesterday. Main reason for that is the axis of where that better moisture was and all that energy, it's moved off towards the east. So we may get a stray shower or two. Most of us should stay pretty quiet and dry. Just again, that mix of sun and clouds as we go through the day today. Very similar story as we get into tomorrow. I don't anticipate too many issues. Temperatures back into the mid to upper 80s, but you'll notice as we get into Wednesday night and early Thursday, all of a sudden the rain starts to move in. And this is moisture that's coming in out ahead of this next cold front. So it will give us a soggier start to the day on Thursday. But look at the relief and the beautiful forecast we get on the other side of it. Overnights are going to be back 50s and 60s. Daytime highs Friday may only make it into the mid 70s at best. And we're going to enjoy a dry weekend as temperatures slowly climb back into the lower 80s early next week.